welcome in. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. Welcome to Four Wide with Coffee. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic. How you doing?
Yeah. How you been, Danny? We ain't seen you in a week and a year, brother.
Yeah, I know. I made it out the other night, so I was happy to be back. Hate I missed Daytona week, but that's what my travels do. So, but I'm back now. At least it's monthly that I'm gone essentially. So, and I'll be gone for probably about 10 days too.
And your time of the month.
Yep.
Your time of the month.
My time of the month.
Every 28 days he goes somewhere.
We understand. I mean, we all know you get cranky about this time, so
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, between being separated from my family and this job that becomes a serious pain in the ass on occasion, it happens. So yeah, enough about me.
Let me tell you that you missing Daytona was probably Daytona Speed Weeks, we'll call them, right? Might be a blessing. Might be a blessing.
Well,
I don't know. I had a pretty good view from where I was during Daytona.
I didn't. Mine was on my roof.
Coco, you were a little bit low all of a sudden as far as your mic.
Okay.
So just so everybody's tracking, Coco's the reason we're delayed this morning.
Yeah. How about now, guys? Am I
That's
looking
perfect.
good now?
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Much
Sorry about that.
better. Much better.
It was my turn to be the technical idiot this week.
Hey, it rotates, right?
Just testing our ability to solve problems on the fly. That's all.
That's it. Jeez. All right. Well, let's go do this and talk first about the race. Now, this is a cup race that we're going to discuss for the Daytona 500. When we all know, the winner was J-Man. Good job with that.
Long time coming for J-Man. Glad to see him pop that victory lane. Terry.
And a hell of a close finish, to say the least, right?
Yes, Daytona normally is good for those close finishes.
Let me go ahead and you want to talk about the race in general. I'll pull up the race replay on the screen. There's a finish shot right there. Awesome.
Yeah, the race itself, I think, as far as what I seen from it, went pretty smooth for the vast majority up front. I think, I had the number 5 car basically in the top 3, top 5 for about 95% of that race, running with Lance. Lance and I were balling during that race. So a lot of single line. What do you think, Coco? It got single line there probably about 20 laps in. And we just trained it for quite a while.
Yeah, we did. It was kind of, and you hate to say this. I love speed. I love plate races. I do. But in the same token, you got to get into that rhythm and that boring to watch train for a little bit. I mean, you really do.
Completely agree.
To save your stuff until the end of the race, there's going to be some big moves made the last 5. That you're going to be, the risk to reward factor increases so much higher in the last 5 to 10. So you just kind of hang out, right? You just make sure you get there.
Yeah, and that's typically Daytona, Talladega. You just find a happy spot and kind of just click those laps away. And that's what I was seeing in my mirror. I was running with Lance, who has just had a bullet of a car, and when I looked up at my mirror, I seen like almost 30 cars just straight lining it for probably about 25 laps.
Yeah. And that was kind of that way for the middle of the race. And I you kind of listen to the guys and what they're, what they're kind of doing, and what they see. Some of the guys are like, you could hear the humdrum of boredom, right? Just staying in line.
Yeah, you're just waiting for somebody to get antsy and try something,
Yeah, that's exactly it. So
there was a little different of a twist this time too. Normally we've got quite a bit of communication going on in the Discord, but now with the teams and the teams filling out quite nicely and being on TeamSpeak, you really had to look in your mirror. And for me, I wasn't looking for one car anymore, right? I was looking for that group. I was looking up and like, where's TJ? Oh, there's a 72. And, he's got the 93 on his, and he's got the 35, right? He's got his whole team in tow. So it was more of just looking for one guy. No, I'm looking for that team that's building momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, and I as you know am not part of any team, so I'm grabbing on the coattails of anybody that'll take me.
just let me come with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the guys, as far as our drivers, they're awesome. They start seeing I'm working with them, I'm pushing them to the front, or they're pushing me to the front. We'll kind of listen for that pit stop, right? Listen, who can I be in bed with at that point, right?
And man, things radically changed with 2 laps to go.
Oh, they did.
2 laps to go in regulation. Wow.
Well, let's tell you what. Let's roll the tape back then to 2 laps in regulation, since we're sitting here in replay mode. And where are we at? I hadn't done this in a while. There we go. There's 1. There's 2 right there. Let's hit the play button.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. So yeah, I had the lead there with about 2 laps to go, and I don't know what happened. About probably 10 cars back in the bottom lane, something happened, and the bottom lane just fell on its face, and the outside lane came on like an effing freight train. And I seen that, and I was like, I can't move, right? I seen it, and I was like, man, okay, I want to jump into that lane. But that outside lane just had so much momentum coming. I was like, I can't do anything. I got to stay in this lane and just ride it out. And then everything went sideways.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken in this one, because I'm getting my 2 races mixed up between the Xfinity and the Cup, but somebody dove down off into the apron, into pit lane, which just seriously just parachuted the bottom line.
Yeah,
is that what happened?
And that's what we got on screen right now. So as you're looking at it, and we're coming to the end, Ed's behind, and it's Greg, isn't it?
I believe it is. Drops down on the apron and gets out of the way. I don't know if he had a black flag or if he was lapsed down. I don't know what happened, but he dropped out, and seriously, a parachute opened up in my ass end and just drug everything down.
And
I felt that so big up front. I was like, whoa, we just lost like a good 10, 15 miles an hour, it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Greg that I guess he was short on fuel. Not sure there what the situation was, but he was leading that low line.
Oh, wait.
And just,
I think the replay being viewed, I'm not seeing it right now, that might actually be the last start, because we had 2 green-white checkers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what we're talking about is what kicked off that green-white checker deal with the main race was coming to an end. And the outside lane, it was coming, and the 87, excuse me, not the 87, that's Jay's new number. The one, Anthony Thitchner, I don't know his 3-digit rookie number, right? He's one of our new drivers, but he's a very good plate driver. I've raced with him a ton in the past. So honestly, during that race, I was kind of watching my mirrors, figuring at some point he was going to make a run for that front. And that's when he did. 2 laps to go. He was leading that outside lane, and Bull's seen it. And Bull's like, I ain't getting hung out on this. And Bull made a move up the middle, and the middle and the outside lane came together, caused the big wreck, and then that spun us off into the green-white checkers 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's you can see. I mean, there, J-Man gets kind of out of the groove there, and it just stacks everything up, and here comes the 88 underneath. I'm going to bring this up just so you guys know. This is a good teaching point. If Danny could roll it back maybe a couple of frames. The 88 had contacted me and said, and we don't point out drivers, but said, hey, Coco, I went below the yellow line. I hope I don't get DQ'd. But this is a prime example of being forced down to that yellow line and not causing the accident. And the 88 couldn't have done any better, in my opinion, of keeping the race going, not wadding up 37 cars, and doing his thing. And that is a prime example. What he did there is he actually let out of the throttle and kind of gave back that position that he was going to take. But in all honesty, no offense to him and his driving etiquette and racecraft right there, exemplary, right? Didn't take out the field. and made the movie had to. Even though we say don't go below the yellow line, that's a prime example of, well, there's not shit I can do.
Yeah, and Tim's a very stand-up driver. You know, I trust being around him all the time.
Yeah, I would. You can't hold that against anybody right there.
No.
That is a great point that you bring up, Coco. I also like to bring up, who was it that forced him down there? What was
I want to know. Let's.
Oh, look, it's the number 3 there.
That black number 3 in there. Speaking about that black number 3, if about a 3/4 of a lap prior to this photo there, I think Coco might owe me a dinner, because he put himself in a position that if I didn't crack my throttle, he would have been off in the grass.
Well, now, to my defense, though, I am the owner of the league with only 1 win.
We're taking that road, aren't we?
Beautiful.
I'm just saying, at the end of the race, I really wanted some of that. Some of that.
So moving forward, Coco, I expect to see a bumper sticker on the back of your car. So I'm the owner.
No,
owner.
No, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, as the owner, I feel I should have a couple more wins in there. But you guys know I'm middle of the pack.
Oh yeah.
And people are like, oh, the owner can't even drive. It's like, I know my limitations. So when I saw myself up there putting that 3 maybe in a good spot,
you did.
I wasn't given much room.
Well, I think what's really cool about this, what's on the screen, is coming off of 4 right there, you know, how this field looks right here compared to take a look at where everybody's at. Tim's up top, right?
Yep.
And we're going to have a lot of changes and movement coming off of 4, heading toward that start-finish line. And I think it's awesome because the field didn't get wadded up. You know, I mean, here it goes. Everybody's making their moves now. You know, we're spreading, we're moving, we're adjusting. Just clears look how close that was. Holy crap, man. Just look, it's just like he just eased the car right around the bumper of you, Coco. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
We didn't kill each other.
No, we didn't kill each other, you know, and I just think that's excellent. I mean, I think that for a Daytona 500, first race of the season, man, what else can you ask for?
Across the board, but specifically at the plate races, the driver lineup in KCE is second to none. I mean, some of the best plate races I've ever done is via this league, because everybody's got their head screwed on right, it seems like, you know, and there's a lot of work that goes on. There really, really is, you know, and that's fantastic, and it leads to great races like what that was.
Yeah,
I agree.
You can't argue with that. You know, whether you finish first or 10th, you know, you're racing somebody every lap. I mean, you're having fun. So.
You know, I mean, honestly, the competitor in me, you know, I was a little burned when I seen nothing but track in front of me and the whole fucking field behind me with 2 laps to go, and it didn't end that way. But saying that, I love seeing the 93 park it. You know, he had such a beat up winter season. You know, he just, like, everything that could go wrong for J-Man went wrong for J-Man.
Ed, you can make a great point. Yeah.
For him to put that thing in victory lane in race 1, I think that kind of just resets all of that. So, you know, for him moving forward, he's going to have a much better season now. Even if he doesn't park it in victory lane, you know, but a few more times, I think he's still going to be off to a good season for taking that win.
Yeah, that's got to make him feel better. I know, Jay has had you are exactly right. I think that's putting it mild to say he's had a rough winter season. You know, but coming out here and taking the first win of the season at the Daytona 500.
Daytona.
Got to feel good.
Champion. Daytona champion.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, moving it back over to the main screen. That's enough of that. Good race. Big field. So, you know, what was the total count out here?
31? 33.
33, but 2 didn't start, I think.
Yeah.
And I guess, did Chris have problems?
maybe the twins showed up.
Ah, okay. Maybe so.
Oh, the twins.
Yeah, the twins. Yeah, we're not even going there. Okay, that's a whole separate show. We're not even gonna touch
Chris,
that.
when the twins show up, you did the right thing, buddy. You did the right thing.
Probably so.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Emos, 186, new driver. I'm not familiar with. He was in practice, but didn't grid, so I hate that.
Yeah.
But it's great to see, new guys out, and of course we got some guys have earned their double digit this week. So you know what? With that, we'll just move on over to league news. And Coco, I will let you take it from there because there's several topics on what to talk about and where to go.
News.
Well, that's interesting. We have a coffee thing on our screen. It shows a little coffee league news.
Yeah, this guy tries to do a few things on occasion.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for digressing, but it popped up on my screen. I was like, "Whoa, that looks cool."
I'm glad
we know what happens when we flash bright lights at Coco.
I know.
Ooh, shiny.
So, restart zones fiasco is how I have this labeled, boys and girls.
Yeah, it'd be a good place to start.
And
I'll tell you, start zones.
I got wind that possibly NIS was going to do it, and we employed it, for this season, and we started off. And Xfinity came in, right, Ed, and ran great. It ran great.
For the most part.
We had no problems. We had a couple of guys not knowing what was going on and all that stuff, but for the most part, the technology worked. So we went into the Cup, and let me tell you that there were 3 different situations. One situation was the leader was a mile per hour below 80 miles per hour, and he got a black flag for starting in the green zone. Another instance was the person was 81 miles per hour over the green flag, double line start green area, the restart zone, and he got a penalty. He got a 1 lap black flag penalty. So I line up on the outside where everybody's getting these black flags.
I was the leader in all the scenarios, I believe.
Were you? Did you get hit, Ed? Did you get? You got a hit? No,
I never anything happened to me as the starter. Although we did have a problem with the starter the one time I was not. I was
with me.
Yeah.
Because I was in second place on the outside.
Yes.
I kept everything at 80 miles per. I mean, guys, I was working hard on my brake. I was dragging that sumbitch like you'd not believe, and I'm working it, and I kept my front bumper at the door of the first place car.
Yep.
So he goes in. I'm at a steady 80, and I get into the green zone. Next thing I know, he takes off, and I actually delay my start by milliseconds. You know what I mean? I start off, everything looks good. I'm all proud. I'm like, hey, I didn't get a penalty for the first time. The second place car didn't get a penalty. The leader got a penalty.
The leader did.
Yep.
Greg.
And I'm like, oh my God, because, I'd rather it happen to me than anyone else. And the thing is, so we didn't know what was going on. So basically what we had to do as a league is just say, we're not doing these yet. They're not ready for prime time. There is no way we can have somebody a mile per hour under and or over.
And in those scenarios, when I was the leader controlling the start, I kept it at solid 80, and then I went to the throttle aggressively when I wanted to in the start zone, and there was no issues there. And the car to my outside, listening to them, I didn't pick up any issues with them either. I never heard the second place car jump the throttle over me, so it was kind of a mystery. And then when Greg was the leader, and that's when he got popped as the leader with you on his outside, I was right behind him starting. And so when he went and I went full throttle, we were already halfway through the start zone. So in my eyes, he didn't jump it.
Right.
But he might have crept into it. So yeah, bad deal. Bad deal.
And so I felt bad for everybody involved, to be honest with you, as, just running the league. I'm like, come on, man. If I could have turned them off halfway through the race, I would have.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for the guy that was in second place because they were just black flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried to do a search too with some of the forums, and I can't really, not without just diving into a bunch of different ones because a lot of these are pretty early on with the restart zone problems. But the only other thing we'll add on that, and then I guess we can put it to bed, besides for Coco giving the update on what's going on with the restart zones for the league now. When we were discussing this and trying to figure out the problems, I did testing in AI when it first came out, which has been a hot minute ago. And I don't believe that the next gen car was in AI at the time the restart zone was introduced. So I think the testing was done with Cup and Xfinity, etc. And it's interesting just to note that, hey, we didn't have any problems at the Xfinity race, but we did have a shit ton of problems when it came to the next gen. So I don't know if there's something there because I just don't know. But it seems awfully odd to me to have that many problems with just what with just the next gen and not so much with the Xfinity.
Yeah.
So the theory was nice. The execution was not.
Yeah. They got some work.
Yeah, for that, just for the update, we turned them off for both Xfinity and Cup because we didn't want to confuse between the series. So, we just shut them down for now until they get their shit together. Yeah, that's the bottom line. That's the status of it.
And that's great point and a good. It's unfortunate. I think we all want it because it does give that leader a little bit of an edge and makes it a little bit more exciting. But it is what it is. Hopefully, iRacing will get that straightened out. I'm sure that they're looking at that, and if they've only got these minor type of problems with restart zones, I'm sure rain's not going to be an issue whatsoever. So
no.
Okay, off to the next. 87 rule set. Well, let's talk about that one because that was also a change.
Now that was the greatest change, I think. I'm sorry, I'm being kind of optimistic or whatever, but I love this change. I love this change. We did it. There was some confusion a little bit in the first race with Daytona about, the guy was the lead lap down, but he was in front of the leader, believing that they should get the wave around. But, and being that I've watched very little races prior to the thing, I really couldn't do anything, but some of our better knowledgeable people, Ed, TJ, other people like that, chimed in and said, no, this is exactly time specific, right? Or time correct. So basically it worked, and it worked great. We had guys on the bottom line fighting for their position.
Man, dramatically changed that race.
It really did.
What was going on in the front of that race was so different, and you were fighting a lap car. You were you were fighting for your life, in those positions. And as the leader, you're racing them really fucking hard too. Man, has it changed the dynamic of what goes on up front in that race.
Yeah,
it really does.
Get out there and do that.
It does. And the one thing that I'm just going to go to, and I don't want to get in it, it's going to upset some people, like the leaders that know they're faster than the 20th place car that's up there. Okay. But, that's the idea of racing, right? This is where you want to have friends. This is where you want to make good relationships out there. Because if that 20th car you've been dicking for the past 5 races, well, he's not going to be susceptible to leaving you by, right? He's going to race for that position. Well,
that's a great point.
So you want to make friends out there. You want to be respectful to other drivers, even if they're the 24th place car, because now at 24th place car may be sitting beside you at a restart someday, and you're going to need a favor.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
So I know that it's going to play havoc with some of the faster guys out there, but it's you got to race. You as the faster car need to get around the slower car, clean, and figure it out. Whether it's take the high line, cut it in low, take the low line, come in, keep it down to the white line. Whatever it is, you're going to have to think.
Or even simply just looking at that car driver and going, is that driver a threat to me if I let them stay on the lead lap? If I back off as leader and let let them keep that position in front of me, and something happens, a caution comes out, and they go around and get back position. Do I want that car to be able to get back in the race? If not, I'm probably going to try, to keep that car in a negative position. And you don't want to be in that negative position. So fireworks, man, fucking fireworks coming.
Yeah. And even if you know something like, hey, he's in 20th position right now and he's right beside me in start, but he's one of the fastest guys on the track today.
Yep.
Okay, you may want to keep him a lap down. I mean, even though it doesn't mean anything right now, he's quick. Like if it's okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to pick on somebody. Ed. I know Ed can beat me, but Ed got a lap down because Ed messed up in his pits. Okay, I'm like, wait a second. I got 10 laps to go, 20 laps to go. I know Ed, if he gets on the lead lap, is going to be a danger to me. I'm going to stick on the outside of him. He's going to have to work for every minute, and I'm going to keep him back there because he's a threat later.
Later, yep. And we've seen that. I've seen some of that up front when it started to cycle out like that, which was, I thought, very cool, and everybody handled it extremely well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's racing.
That's racing.
Yeah, that's racing.
Yeah.
And it's excellent too as far as the new rules. So I think it's a good call, Coco. And everybody should be excited about it. And it kind of brings back that nostalgia of the cars too, right? So it helps out there.
It works.
Yep.
It works. So I'm excited.
A driver cleanup. So we did I'll let you talk about that, Coco, but there was a major, and I'll pull up the website here while you're kind of talking about this and let everybody know what's going on. I will add also that last night I did go in and started a lot of driver picture updates. Dog, leave me alone. And trying to get those updated as far as, because there's a lot of new paints out there. So I went to the 500, pulled that out. But let me move over here.
Did I give you the right file, by the way, Danny?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay, good.
I did a second race that I wasn't tracking, and then but J-Man still won that one.
Secret anime file.
Yeah, I want to make sure you don't get the good wave file.
Here we go.
So while he's pulling that up, just so we can essence the time. Yeah, while we're there, driver cleanup. We did a driver cleanup. It was basically, I used anybody who hasn't raced with us in 30 days or longer, basically got removed out of the league. Now, 30 days sounds like it, but the rule is 3 weeks. If you don't race with us for 3 weeks, you actually be dropped down to a triple digit or removed, depending on the situation. But what I actually found was more like 3 months, 4 months. We, basically removed the drivers that weren't racing with us for, 3 months, 2 months, but maybe still racing. Some guys were not racing at all. Some guys were racing in other locations, and we don't have a problem with that. But the thing is if you're not an active participant, there's a lot of administrative tasks that take place that we have to maintain weekly, daily, monthly, whatever. And with those extra drivers, it makes it very difficult to do exports and cleanups and things like that. So, the rule is 3 weeks, but I went back as far as 3 months and basically cut everybody out of that point. And I also wanted to say that although we have real numbers in our iRacing, people don't show up and go, well, you have 160 drivers, but only 25 show up. It's almost like false advertisement, right? I want people to know what we have, or what we really run with, and it helps out. It's no bait and switch, so to speak. But as Danny's showing on the league page, Danny has updated many pictures. Awesome job, Danny.
We would have full fields if all the drivers who signed up show up.
Right. But, so it's, if your photo's coming soon, Danny's going to grab that for you in one of your races. Jay Crabo, I'm going to just pick on him for a minute. Can't wait to see the 87. But anyway.
Oh, he's so happy, dude. Yep. You made his whole year.
Yeah, he deserved it, and I think it fits there perfectly. He's an '87 driver in real life. Dad. He has some ties with Dad in the way that he did his number, and I just think it's fantastic. So I'm very happy for Jay. But yeah, as you can see, Danny's been doing an awesome job on this, and it stinks, but we did have to do a cleanup. We had way too many drivers that never raced with us, and they were on our lists. Preventing us from actually keeping an efficient administrative management of our league. So I apologize to those who got cut. You can reapply and start over, but participation is what we need, and that's the bottom line. I'm going to cater to and make sure that these 2-digit numbers are available for the guys who are here week after week.
Yeah, great point. And so if any of you triple-digit guys out there who are close, getting ready to submit for you too, you may want to go review this page here on the website and take a look at the driver's list, and you can see what is available today. And as far as with those changes, because there were quite a few freed up, to say the least, as far as numbers. So the number you want may be available now. Maybe. It may be. Maybe not.
Just please refrain from, hey, this guy hasn't raced for 6 months. Can I have his number? We're taking care of that. Please do not.
There's a process.
And there is a process, and Ed, that great point, and I'll say this too for Coco, the process. Keep in mind, because I know you cannot come into the league as a triple digit and go, hey, I know I haven't got it yet, but I want to reserve blank because it's available. It's not how it works. And the reason why that is, guys, is just simply this. If we have a brand new driver show up today and says, hey, this number's available, this is what I want, but I'm not qualified yet, we may have another driver that is finishing his last qualifying race and submitting tomorrow on the next race, right? And so that would take that from it. So it would never work. So keep in mind, it's when you apply, when you meet all the parameters that are listed on the website, when you meet all the parameters to apply for a 2-digit number, that's when you can request that specific number. So I hope that makes sense. But
yes, sir. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, man. Teams channel. So Ed mentioned this a little bit earlier. It has changed the dynamic in the league. People are not as, I think, I can't remember who it was. It might have been J-Man Thursday night, wasn't it? It was like, man, it sure is quiet.
How quiet Discord was.
Yeah, it sure is quiet in here now.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Well, Ed, I was going to let you lead off thoughts, and then I'll jump in with mine.
Thoughts? Yeah, I think it's a good maneuver in what was put in place, and so basically, we. In the past, we had everybody in Discord, which we still do as our main communication channel. But for drivers that were working together, it was being used on the iRacing side. And then, obviously we kind of seen some things going on that as administrative goes, you really kind of want to have ears on, So Coco had this brilliant idea. Well, why don't we run TeamSpeak? Because administratively, it gives him the tools he needs to make sure everything works properly. And so that's what was instituted. And in my opinion, it's been working great, right? We've got more control. It sounds better. What you can do, Coco, as far as if there's any problems in a race moving forward, well, now you've got an extra data set, right? You've got race footage, but now you've also got an audio recording. So what does that mean? It means drivers, teams stay on the up and up. Don't do anything that would get your team in trouble. And what does that mean? It means I can race now effectively around the other teams knowing that they probably are not doing or planning anything nefarious, because if they are, they're going to be caught out. And I think that alone, at least from what I've seen over the last couple of races, has really brought the stress level down. So yeah, I think it's a win-win across the board. It's just made the drivers who are on teams more effective for what we need to do as far as that team goes. Your thoughts?
Danny, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So for me, I've never been a TeamSpeak guy. I mean, I've like had it and used it maybe one other time. I do like the platform though. It is a much better platform to all the points you just gave as far as um, for us using it. Where I was excited when I heard that, hey, we may be going this route and turning off the iRacing in-game radio. For those of you who don't know, if you turn that radio off inside of iRacing, just a couple of clicks, I think it's 2 clicks, check mark over there, you will actually gain FPS just as a result of that alone, turning off the radio. Not sure what the conflict. I don't know the technical side for iRacing. Don't know why it happens, but I can tell you that it does happen. And I mean, we're talking about a significant gain, sometimes up to about 30 frames per second. Okay, by just turning the radio off. So I was selfish. Not that I'm not having any FPS. I should not even fucking say that. Okay, I'm excited that the FPS.
You got some wood.
No
you better
shit.
Start knocking.
Better start knocking because that's concerning. But yeah, so I was excited for that.
Here's my take on this whole deal, guys, and I'm going to be straight up with you, Danny. I listened to you for 2 weeks. The thing I listened to was that what do we do about the privateers? And it stuck in my craw because you brought it up. And It was right. But here's my gist. And I said something the other night, which I agree. Discord has become a little more quiet. Is that a bad thing? In my opinion, it's not. No. Okay? It settles down the, hey, what'd you do Friday night bullshit while a guy's trying to run a qualifying run in practice and concentrate. If his team's talking to him, he can't bitch at nobody but his team. Shut up, So although it's quieter on Discord and the privateers and the new guys might feel that they're being ignored, I still think it's a benefit to racing. We're here to race. Now, I want everybody to be friends and bullshit and all that stuff. But, kumbaya, whatever they call it. But anyway, the thing is I also want people who come here to race to be able to have their concentration level and things like that during their practices, tire runs, whatever, also available. So I think the quietness is true, but I don't think it's a bad thing. And
no, I agree.
It's not. And I tell you what, Coco, we did talk about this. It's concerned about our new drivers come in. And it's like, okay, everybody's on these teams. I've got an idea, and we haven't even discussed it yet, but I'll throw it out here and you can mull it over. But maybe.
Exclusive moment.
Maybe, and this may be good for development of new teams also. If we have a privateer, rookie, hey, I'm the new guy channel, whatever you want to call it, where guys who are out there solo could be in TeamSpeak together if they want to be able to communicate with, hey, I'm reaching out to the new triple-digit guy because I'm a triple-digit guy, and maybe we can work together. A rookie channel or a privateer channel, whatever you want to call it, and then that may actually help to build new teams and develop some bonds there early on with new people. So that would be my idea. I'll throw at you, and you can mull that one over.
And
not charging you for it either. So
no. Well, fantastic. Thank you for the voluntary information.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's what I will
tell you this. I've like minds, right? Like minds. Because I have thought about this in putting the default channel information out there that does not require a password, the default, and say, if you want to talk to the triple digit guys can go here as their own little team, okay? And they will all be in there. And like you said, maybe form friendships on a team level. We all have friends in Discord, but maybe on a team level. Like I really click with this guy. Me and him work great on plate races. Me and him work great in these guys. So split them up. Give them a channel. However, one of the concerns that I have, and it's not even a concern, Danny, I kind of wanted, and this is a bad idea because I already know it's not working or it's not running, but it's like you can only have a teammate if he's a 2-digit. He earns the right to be on the team.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
The reason why I say this is because we at KCE Racing, we provide you with resources and tools. Those resources and tools cost money. They come out of my pocket, okay? This TeamSpeak server wasn't free, boys and girls, but it's free to you because what did I say? What's our tagline? KCE will always be free. But if you're putting together teams and you say, okay, well, you can get on another veteran team under this thing with a 2-digit number, then that it wants people to participate their 3 races, get their IPLs lower, be participating in the league, and making friends. It's not going to go that way. I'm not going to do it. But my point is that I thought about that. But your idea is better because you just say, okay, guys, this is what a team channel looks like. And they're all set up before they get their 2-digit number to
That's
be,
true.
you know what I mean? They're all set up. We don't have to worry about it.
That's true.
If I could give any advice out there, because trust me, there's comedy gold coming. At some point in this season, there's comedy gold coming, and I am an expert on this subject of fucking up your transmit buttons. Oh, saying that, make sure you get your buttons away from each other. Discord button, team button, because we all love the vent.
Yeah, get your labels out.
We all love the vent, right? So just make sure you are hitting that team button with venting, or else comedy gold shall ensue.
And
that's
good point. Good point.
Yeah. And that's where Coco's face turns red when he hears it, because he knows he's going to have to deal with fallout. So,
and you got one guy in Discord that's going to wait till that guy blows his top on the wrong channel and goes, you're on the wrong channel, right?
Oh yeah, beautiful.
So I think Teams channel is working. I believe that there is one caveat Ed brought up, and I'm going to tell you guys. Remember, I don't know how else to tell you, but the big sign up top, whenever I hit record, it says recording. It's in red, and it comes up. You're being recorded. I don't know how else to tell you. I don't care about that fucking guy just cut me off. That's not my concern. My concern is disrespect the league admins, disrespect the league owner, something like that in a disrespectful manner. Okay, so I don't care about racing bullshit where you're sitting there talking and you say, oh, cut me off. He hates me. Me and him. I ain't never letting him pass her. I'm gonna block him every chance. I don't give a shit about that. That's your thing. But what I do care about is understand that we work very hard here at KCE Racing. So be careful how you barrage us.
I think it forces everybody to stay honest.
Yeah, I agree with Ed on that. And also what you said, Coco.
And with the new rules policy we have with the review board not functioning as it was, which again I think has been a fantastic change. Everybody seems to be driving a lot less stress. Everybody's having more fun. You're not so worried about being door to door with the guy next to you, and you're friends with the guy next to you, right? So that's been fantastic as far as that goes. But we do know that at some point in time, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to file a protest, and it may very well come down to that voice, that communication as the data set that could really swing. Well, this was on purpose, or no, this guy just made a bonehead move and it was completely an accident type deal.
Absolutely.
So without that ability to have that data, you really can't rule properly in those decisions. So
great point.
Two thumbs up. Excellent job, Coco. I love that everybody's been recorded. We're all being held to the same standard.
Yep. And I just, great segue there, Ed. Penalty system. I put on there, maybe I was going to bring it up, but I want to bring it up for any new driver or returning driver that really isn't a Discord participant as much as they should be. I'll say that. I'll go as far as saying that. In our announcements, we announce everything to the best of my ability. Sometimes I might miss one or two things here or not clarify something, but for the most part, I try to announce everything I do. The one thing that I did was the new penalty system. Ed, you're aware of it. Danny, you're aware of it. But just for those who aren't, we no longer do a race review. And I'll say that with tongue in cheek. I'll come back to that in a moment. We don't do race reviews right after the race. First of all, everybody in the race review is a racer. Okay, we're all drivers. So we come in with emotions. We come in with high anxiety, right? Because we just raced a Daytona, and we're there. So it really didn't lend itself to be, in my opinion, neutral. Okay. Now, I don't have a problem with it. Others don't have a problem with it or whatever, but it's hard. Human nature is just what it is. So I said, no, this isn't really working. So let's stop that. We don't do a race review at the end of the night. We wait. And that's why penalties now are given by if somebody believes that they have been wronged in any way, shape, or form, blocked, cut off, hit in the ass end, squeezed down too low. I'm just picking out all the bullshit that we used to look at. If somebody feels that they've been wrong, they can submit a form on the website. Here comes the plug, Danny. KCERacing.com. They can go ahead and
I'll switch over to that screen too and show.
We
everybody.
have a website.
Yeah. Ooh, here we go. Don't you go there.
What?
Oh, my head hurts. so you go to KCERacing.com. There's a form there under the forms, as Danny's showing you, and you can go ahead and submit a form saying this car did this to me on this lap, and here's a little snippet of the replay, and it even shows you how to get that snippet of replay. And they submit it. If it's submitted, then the race review board, who right now I'm appointing, and moving around some pieces, but for the most part, the race review board will look at that and they'll weigh in on it. And all the instructions are there. I'm not going to go over everything, but basically it's a form. It's a simple form. What is it? 5 questions, Danny, I think?
Yeah, it's not that many, so it's pretty easy to fill out.
Yeah. And you fill it out. Then we'll review it. That penalty will come out after review. If no penalty assessed, you will lose one of your 5 tickets in a 36-week and 3 tickets. I think there are 2 tickets in the 18-week. I forget what I put there. But yeah, it lets the driver say, do I care enough to submit this, or was this just a racing deal?
Exactly. And you know what? It makes the drivers, I don't want to say it forces them, but it encourages them to send a message. Hey, buddy, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean that. Open a line of communication. Squash that shit right then and there.
Now, absolutely. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be times when we have to, possibly get 2 drivers together and say, hey, this is a problem. The hauler, which we created the hauler. The one thing that we did also is that, I said we don't review the race. At the end of the night. And we don't. Usually the next day with my coffee and my Monday morning with work, I'll go into a meeting and I'll actually bring it up and I'll review all the incidents or something just to see what's going on. Keep my finger on the pulse. I'm not giving anything unless I see something egregious, something outrageous, something that I can't have in this league. Okay?
You might see 1 or 2 drivers that really start pushing the issues.
Yeah. And you say, okay, well, this guy wasn't reported, but this is really bad for the league, okay? And then I will throw a penalty. Myself and the race director have the ability to review anything we want to review without submission. And that leads it to, so when I say we're not reviewing it, we aren't.
Go. Hold on, right back.
Yep. I think Ed just got an exciting package.
He did, and it's I'm not sure he didn't get into what the details were, but I know it's large, it's related to sim racing, and it's expensive. So those 3 things right there, that's a good thing. Good thing.
I'm betting he got a new rig, and if he did, I'm gonna. All right. Hey guys, for the 10 people in our chat, you put in what you think it is. Quickly.
Was it your package?
It sure was.
Oh boy! Now, do we want to ask what the package was?
No, no, we don't, because then I'm gonna get messages. Oh, you should do this and do this and do this, and that's not what it's about.
Okay. It's a blow me up, suck me Susie doll.
Jane, she's the brunette. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
The redhead.
You guys.
No, but So back to the show. Ed, congratulations on your package.
Whatever
I'd never
it
say
is.
that again. I will never say that again.
I do like my package.
But I think this lets the guys race, and that's what we want. But like I said, we do have to keep our finger on the pulse. So please understand, we are reviewing, but we're not reviewing like we used to. We're not nitpicking, and that's what I wanted to get away from. Nitpicking.
Awesome. George Dibble in the comments said Burnout Simulator. That was his guess.
I already have that. No, Ed's going a different route because Ed. I try to keep up with Ed. Ed can't have that can't be it.
And Mike mentioned something about that's not what she said. So I don't know where he's going on that, but
Is this an equipment Cold War that I wasn't aware that we were involved in?
No, I will say, not blowing sunshine up your ass, Ed, but I have watched your videos many a time. One of your videos that I did pay attention to was your build, your PC build, and I'm hoping we'll get into a hardware segment sometime that you can show off your shit, because I followed your lead in a lot of things. Without saying thank you, without you even knowing, but thank you, because
nice.
I think that people need to know how much dedication and time we put into this shit. Okay, your PC build of your open case, I took to heart. I now have one. I love it. I can't. That was the PC I bought when I upgraded, and it was off of your builds. It really was. It was off of your builds. So thank you again.
Nice.
Your hardware instruction of, hey, well, I did this and this work. Sometimes, buddy, I have to admit, you're even above my head, and I just say, you're fucking crazy. I ain't doing that. But I will tell you that,
Come on down my rabbit hole.
Yeah, other people in the league have put a lot of time and effort into their stuff, and you watch it on our Discord. I got this, and then you wait. You kind of wait, and you say, okay, how did it work for you? And that helps you with the next purchase. Yeah, it really does. So thank you. Thanks everybody out there in Discord who put that stuff in the non-racing or the paint pictures or whatever. Thank you.
We all take from each other to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
True statement.
Yep.
All right, let's move. Let's see if that kind of wraps up as far as league news. Let's start to roll into some iRacing community news. Things to go on.
Hey, there's our coffee cup.
So there's a coffee cup. So
yeah, my coffee's cold.
My coffee's gone. But
my coffee's gone.
Website sunset for all you longbeards out there that just cannot get away from the damn website. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you do. It's this site right here where you use to go and do everything. It has been delayed.
Come on.
Yep, I kid you not. The sunset has been delayed, and the reason that was given was until, and I'm paraphrasing here a bit, but until they get the website, the UI to where they want it, they're going to delay sunsetting the website for iRacing. So, hey, some of you guys, will be happy about that. Maybe.
Do we have a date, Danny? Did they say a date?
We did have a date. It is gone. The date is gone.
There's nothing.
So there's no date right now. No date.
If I can, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it with some kind of authority here. Listen, if you're not on the UI, get there, because
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For league drivers, I'm going to be honest with you. For league drivers, there's nothing on the website that's different than the UI as far as I've found. Here's what I found, and I'm going to just bring this out. Administratively, that is where the UI falls short to the website, because I can do things in the website that I can't do in the UI.
Yep.
Okay, and that for running the league. But as far as connecting to a race, connecting to a test session of a practice session of your league, all that shit's there. So if I were you boys and girls, get on it, learn it, become comfortable with it. Don't be one of those guys that wait to the last minute and then don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, get on board. I've been using the when it was the beta UI, and I'm sure a lot of people still refer to it as that, but I've been using it since it came out. It wasn't. I didn't use it exclusively at first, but I've slowly made the transition, and now that's all I use. I don't need to go to the website. Is it perfect? No, but they'll
No.
get it sorted. It'll get worked out. But the complaining and bitching about it, and just man, look, you're gonna have to get over it. That's what's coming. That's what we've got. Get used to it. Fuck, enough said, man.
I think it's mostly just resistance to change.
It is, and that is a frustration for me personally, and I live it every day in my job. All right, next point.
Get off that subject.
Yeah, it's a great week at work. 12 hours of Sebring's coming up 24 through 26 March. And that's going to include the GTP, and then what the GTP, LMP, and the GT3 classes. So
it should be an outstanding event.
It should be. It should be. Looking forward to that. And do we have an interest up yet on the Discord?
We do.
Okay.
The interest on that, let me double check for you, buddy. But there are interest to that. It looks like 12 currently interested in that. So
awesome.
So let's say we have it says nine people interested. I think it came down a little bit, but it all depends, I think, on people who can and cannot make it. So it looks like, and I'm just going to announce them real quick: Peter Norquay, Michael Everhart, Danny Vaughn, Eric Whiting, Gary Kipford, Todd Bosworth, Tim Kennedy, Jamie Bray, Pete Kopko, so Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, we got some good interest here.
Yeah, and I'm sure more will pick up. So, guys, if you are interested in that, go over there and click that like button. I will have to unclick the like button, Coco. I will be gone that weekend.
Well, unclick it.
I'll unclick it. It is, man, but it is and it isn't, because if I'm gone, I'm usually home with the family.
And that's a good thing. But you know what, Danny? I'm okay with that for one reason, buddy. You told us that anything that starts with an S you didn't like anyway, so.
That is true on tracks that start with S's in road. They usually seem to cause me grief. Sebring, Spa, Silverstone. Don't know why, but
I was gonna say I think there's a story there for a different episode.
Probably so. Something with the S's. All right. Next topic. Believe it or not, guys, week 12 starts Monday. And
does it really?
What? Yeah, it does. And you know what that means is we've got a new build, season 2 build, coming right behind that. Now, what is coming in season 2 is kind of what I wanted to throw up there real quick. I've got on the screen. There was kind of a state. If everybody remembers, maybe I can find that right quick. There was kind of a state of iRacing post mentioned not too long ago from, I forget who it was in the iRacing staff, that said, hey, this is kind of where we're going, what we've got coming, what we're working on. Talked about rain, talked about tire model, talked about a host of new tracks. I'll be honest with you, a lot of them I never even heard of. So, a lot of road tracks, obviously. I mean, but not sure really what's coming with this. I know there's a lot of things. Everybody's still looking for the Pontiac in the 87s. That was teased, man, about 12 months ago, right?
That would be sweet.
It would be sweet. I would love to rock a Pontiac out there in the 87s.
Really?
Yeah, I would. I would.
Well,
I
you
would.
are driving a Buick, so
exactly.
I'd probably switch to the Pontiac.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of cool. Or at least rotate it in half the season or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I like having the variety out there on the tracks. I mean, but yeah, so that's coming up pretty quickly. Hopefully, over probably next week, we'll start to hear some more teasing, because the new content typically drops week 13, which is about 10 days away, and we'll see what kind of new toys we get. So I am excited about that, to say the least. Right.
Yep. Well, just a note on that, Dan. Danny, as far as Dan, I called you Dan. Sorry, Danny. As far as the
better than Danica.
Yeah, Danica.
That's a true statement. That's a true statement.
The league lessons learned. Some guys might be thinking we have our complete schedule on our website. However, we do not have a complete schedule in iRacing. So when people get there, they see it trickle down to like 2 races, 3 races. It's not good for new coming people. It's like, well, these guys don't even have races set up. However, we learned our lesson with week 13. We only went up to about week 14 on iRacing. And the reason we did that is because if they make any changes to car setups, it wipes out all of our car setups. So when I programmed 140 races last year, every race needed fixed again, and we made a lot of mistakes. So now we said, nope, we're going to stop at week 14 on or 15 on iRacing, but we're going to put the full race schedule on our website. So that we only had to fix 2 and continue on from week 13.
A great point that you brought that up as far as explaining that. So we need some pictures here. I'm just looking at the schedule thrown up that we got for.
Yeah, it's a nightmare to try to fix. It's no fun.
Yeah.
So we learned our lesson last year. So our races are cut off at a certain time, but that's for week 13 changes.
Awesome.
And that's only in iRacing, so you know.
Yep. Great point on that one. All right, man. I think we hit it all.
And I think with our late start, we actually were an hour in.
All right, show 2 off to a much better run than show run. So stick with us, guys. It's just going to keep getting better and better, and we're going to have guest drivers in here getting that worked out. So yeah, good shit.
Yeah,
good stuff. Enjoyed it, guys, as always. So tomorrow night, Cup Series, we are at Auto Club. We'll have to talk about Auto Club after next time. I can't even bring it up right now because it's depressing to me. Auto Club's leaving, but we're gonna let it go.
We'll bring that up whenever it's gone, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we'll deal with it. Yeah, kick the can down the road another 12 to 24 months, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They fucking up doing the money grab.
I agree. I love that track. Okay.
I like it. I just can't drive it, so I give up.
I feel that way with Bristol
many of them.
and Darlington. All right, guys. Hey,
all right.
Thanks for hanging out, Coco, Ed. Till next time.
Thank you, Danny.
Yep, we'll do this again. Thanks for everybody in chat, all the viewers that were hanging out there. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you possibly tonight at practice. Don't forget about that. Or tomorrow night with the Cup Series. Till then, we're out.
See you in 2 weeks.